Hi, I'm Allie. Join me as I show you how to make this filigree pearl bracelet. It's a really pretty use of pearls as well as round duo minis to create that lacy look. If you need any supplies, go ahead and look below the video in the description. We'll put links there to get you to our website so that way you can pick out your own designs for your lovely bracelet. Gather up your materials and let's get started. So for this bracelet, we're going to be using 8mm and 6mm pearls along with round duo minis. We have two colors, or you can do one color of 11/0 seed beads along with a 3mm bugle. And then I have a Clasp Garden Infinite clasp that I'm going to be using. To begin, I'm only going to be using the 3 rounded beads and my champagne 11/0. So I'm going to put the other ones off to the side and get out a couple of each of those. You can also, while you're doing that, get out 2 needles. Yep, you heard me, 2 needle project. 2 size 10 needles along with some .008. So we're going with size 8 of your dragon thread. And I'm using white color there. We're going to begin just with our center line. And because we are using 2 needles, I have my clasp ready to go. So to begin, I'm going to take my clasp, which has a soldered ring. So I'm just going to go right in with my needle. And I'm going to let that drop down next to or at the very end of the thread, making sure that I have equal amounts of thread on each side of my needle. 1, 2 of your 11/0s go on both needles. And then the first thing we're going to do is we are going to pick up one of our round duo minis. The round duo minis, you're going to have one needle that goes through the right hand hole and another needle that goes through the left hand hole, running perpendicular. Again, making sure I still have equal amounts of thread on each side. 2 11s on the right needle, 2 11s on the left needle. And now we're going to go through our 6mm pearl, same hole, same direction. And that puts that there. I'm going to continue 2 more 11s to create this baseline on the right needle, along with your round trio, or your round duo rather, round duo mini. 1 more 11/0, one of my 8/0s. The round duo mini is going to sit in between each one of your pearls, and we're going to alternate between the 6 and the 8mm pearls. On the opposite needle, I'm putting on, let that drop down. On the opposite needle, I am putting on 2 11s. I'm going to go through the second hole of the round duo mini that's there. 2 more 11s through the 8mm pearl. Separating out the needles then again, this is your pattern the whole way. So I'm going in again. And what I'd like to do is usually just bead one at a time. So I'm going to go and do 2 11s, round duo mini, 2 11s, 6. 2 11s, round duo mini, 2 11s, 8. And then I'll put this needle down and I go, just like I showed you earlier, back to the first needle, especially if you have trouble beading with both needles. And you're just going to repeat the same thing, but instead of adding any round beads, you're just going to go through the second hole of the round duo mini and go through the same single hole of your pearls. This is the whole baseline of your bracelet. So go ahead and do this for approximately 7 inches, depending on your wrist size. Once I catch up and I have the same thing on my design here, I'll go in now, just make sure I'm good, pull my thread and needle tight, and go back in to doing the same combo the whole way along the bracelet. When you get to the end of the design, you're going to do like the beginning where you do 2 11/0s on both the left and the right hand needle. We are going to crisscross through our trigger here for our clasp, making sure that we're going through the correct way so that way it clasps the right way. Crisscrossing through the clasp. Then we're going to run our thread and needle back down through the 11s and out. Doing that on both the left and the right hand side of the design. Once you're there, we're going to be set up for our next row of our seed beads as we go through. When exiting the bracelet here, you can see I've already done some on one side. We're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. We're doing a little right angle weave unit, and then we're connecting around our pearls. To begin, I'm using the champagne color of the 11s around the round duo minis, and then I'm using my matte amethyst silverline beads around my pearls. I'm going to grab one of my 11 seed beads, and then I'm going to grab 4 11 seed beads with my needle and thread coming out from those 2 seed beads along the side. I'm going to take my needle and thread and go back through bead number 1 in the group of 4. So we have on 5 beads here. I'm ignoring the first bead and going back through bead number 1 when I just counted to 4. So I had 1 and then 4 and then 1 again and through the 2 seed beads that are already there. On the side of the 6 millimeter pearls, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 11 O's. Down through then the next 2 seed beads that are before the round duo mini. And that frames that out. Here along the side then, you pick up your first bead and then your group of 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let that all drop down. Go back through bead number 1 in the group of 4, so you have 1 independent bead. And then I'm going back through bead number 1 in that group of 4. And then once I'm back through that first bead, toward bead number 2, pull nice and tight. It's going to sit off the thread line a little bit, just give a nice tight pull. Grab 1 more 11 and down through the 11 seed beads that are already there. This continues the whole way. Now that I'm on the side of the 8 seed bead, or sorry, the size 8 pearl, 8 beads get added. And then into the next 2 11s. You're going to see this on both the right and the left side as you build the base of the bracelet. It's really pretty as is actually. And you're just going to continue on adding in your second layer, which is those seed beads along the pearls and on the exterior of the round duo minis. Once you're done wrapping your pearls and doing your little right angle weave unit on your round duo minis, you can see that the advantage of a multi-hole bead is that the seed beads kind of stay to the side because you're going through 2 holes, right in the left hole. Here at the end, I've gone up through the last 2 beads. And with the left needle, I came over through the clasp on the right, reinforcing. And on the right, I'm going to go through the clasp from right to left. And then I'm going to step up through my first 3 11 seed beads. I'm going to add 1 more seed bead, and I'm going to do it in my purple color. I'm going to step up through the seed bead on the rightmost side of my picot trim there. And I'm going to exit so that my thread is coming out through the top of that picot trim. On the opposite side, doing the same thing, going through the 2 seed beads along the side here. Picking up then that 3rd bead, adding a 11 in the purple color in, and sewing out through that we're coming through and out the corner there. This is going to get me set up then to come down the project. I'm going to flip it over here towards the front, adding in my bugles. Now, depending on the size of your beads, you might want some 15 O's, you might want some bugles. It's kind of up to you what you run along the outer edge. Because we did even numbers of seed beads along the side, we're going to be grabbing onto beads number 3 and 4 when we go along the 6. And then when we go along the 8, we're going to be grabbing along beads 4 and 5. So we're grabbing the middle beads basically of each of our pearls, and we're going to connect onto the ends of our little right angle weave. Coming out the point there, you can see what I've done on the one side. I'm going to add a purple, a bugle, and a gold. Then I'm going into the 2 center beads next to the 6. Coming out, I'm going to add a gold, a bugle, a purple, and go up into that top corner bead. Again, reversing it, purple, bugle, gold, into the middle 2 beads along the 8 right here. And I'll switch just like I did as I'm working on it. Here through the left side and then the right side and then the left and then the right and so forth. And that builds those bugles along the outer edge. I'm going to go down the left side and the right side, going in and adding next to the purple, I add the gold, then a bugle, and next to the gold, I add a purple going in. Now on my sample piece, I did all the same color and did all a gold variant as I went down and back the project. Once you get down through the project, just like we did on the opposite side, you're going to go down through the side, add one of your 11-0 seed beads in the purple, and then pick up those 3 11-0 seed beads leading up to the clasp. Kind of wiggle your needle and thread out there. And you're going to do the same thing on the opposite side, going through and putting it here. While you're here, if you want to, you can come down this side as well. Just hang out here and do the same thing on the opposite side. Going down the side here. Once you're down the side, grab your 11-0 and then into those 3 beads through your clasp, and just like the other side, down through the opposite side. Give a nice tight pull at this process here. That'll kind of make your pearls stick up as well and make it almost like a 3-dimensional bracelet. And go ahead then and go down through and have your thread exit. Doing the final touches now on the bracelet, we're going to come out through the gold 11 there, put on 2 more gold 11s, go into the gold 11, up through the bugle and the purple, put on 1 more gold 11, down the bugle, the purple, and the gold. And you can see I've already done this on one side here, just as that nice little finishing touch, going in and adding in the 2 golds on the side of the pearls and adding in the 1 gold to make it pointed right outside of the round duos. Makes it look nice and majestic, and you're going up one side and then you're going up the other side to make it match, just like I've already done on the left. Once you're finished with the design, you can see how it kind of sits that 3-dimensional up when you're looking at it on the wrist here. It has a beautiful lay, almost looks lacy here. And once I'm done with my seed beads along the side and adding that in, I'm going up through the seed beads here. And I'm going to keep 1 needle at one side. The only thing I have to do here is get the 2 thread ends to the same side and tie off my thread, which is what I'm doing right now. I'm going to tie it off near the round duo mini here. So I'm going to bring my thread and needle in toward one another. And then once I have it there, again, just tie and burn. Last thing I need to do is glue my cabochon onto my clasp, but that completely finishes this bracelet. I'm going to pull my thread and needle to the back of the design, both strands there, flip it over, grab those 2 thread ends and knot them. Right over left, left over right. Again, pulling it towards the back so you don't see it. And I'm going to go in with my thread zap or my thread burner, burn my edges down, and finish this off. 3 knots there. Thread burner, pull up on my thread, push down on my beads, burn that thread off, battery's dying, and then burn the thread ends down close to the project. When you flip it over then, you won't see any of that knot because you did it towards the back end of this beautiful lacy design. Thanks so much for joining me in creating the Filigree Pearl Bracelet. It's a really pretty and delicate lacy look. Remember, if you do need any supplies, look below the video in the description. We'll put links there to get you back to our website so you can gather up all your supplies or pick new colors as well. If you haven't yet, hit that little subscribe button so you don't miss anything from us here at Potomac Beads. Thanks so much for watching, and stay tuned for more inspirational designs.